Let's see what's going on in the Bitcoin chart here. Bitcoin's having a small daily bounce. Keep in mind, we had this beautiful topping tail here, and I pointed this out to members of Verified Investing Crypto. And again, Verified Investing Crypto members, as soon as I saw that topping tail, I said, okay, guys, this is a short-term sell signal. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4 down days following that topping tail. If you guys aren't familiar with topping tails and bottoming tails, they're amazing indicators of potential tops and bottoms. Definitely something you want to check out. All right, couple other things here. As we see, Bitcoin is getting a small bounce today. And again, the big thing to watch for markets bouncing, look at the dollar. The dollar is up slightly. Watch it on Powell. When Powell speaks, if the dollar pops, you have resistance at 104.20 or so. And again, I do think that the dollar is having a 3-bar surge. 1, 2, 3. You likely, even if you get a little pop here, you're likely going to get a pullback in the dollar. That would bode well for a continued small bounce in Bitcoin and maybe potentially the stock market. All right. So again, any sort of dollar weakness, you should expect the equity market, the assets in general, risk assets like Bitcoin, to get a little bit of a pop. Let's take a look at ETH. I know a lot of you guys are all about the ETH. ETH is rolling over on an intraday basis. Let's go to the daily chart. So the daily chart is stuck between two parallels, really, right? So I can even put in a parallel here, right? So if we take these lows and we stretch them up right here, you basically have a parallel channel. So for me, when I see a parallel channel that's upsloping, it's generally a negative, meaning that upsloping channels eventually break down. Now, it doesn't mean it can't go to the high end first, but eventually these channels break to the downside. All right. And again, the thought process is that if you have a channel that's up, price can't keep up. Eventually, price stalls out and breaks down, right? It just can't go up forever. I have a short signal out in Verified Investing Crypto on this. We're basically flat on it as of now, but I'm looking for a move down here to about $1,320 on ETH. Could it go up and touch this area up here in this upper range? Yes. This is a channel. It can bounce in this channel for long periods of time. It's just a matter of when does it finally, peter out, right, and break down. In terms of my Bitcoin, I just want to be clear on this because a lot of people are continuing to wonder, is my analysis still showing, is it going to still go down to the 12 to 13,000 level and potentially 9? And I want to stress that as of now, the larger time frame technicals are still showing that. So be very, very careful. I could be wrong, of course. Again, I am wrong every once in a while. But right now, to me, I would be much more intrigued if this popped and touched 25,000. We have a position in Verified Investing Crypto. I would be unloading that there and then looking for a bigger move down. I think it's very interesting how investors have gotten so bullish on Bitcoin when it's this small of a move. Look at the size of that move and then look at where the all-time highs were. So to be able to claim this is a new bull market, it's a little tricky. And I've seen a lot of so-called fundamental analysis out there that, this must be the bottom, the 4-year cycle, this and that. But remember, the 4-year cycle was under the guise of Fed printing money. They're not printing money right now. So you have to be a little bit open to things changing up a little bit here. We had one of the longest bull markets from 2009 to 2021. Why? Was that a normal cycle? No, it was literally the longest bull market we've ever had. I mean, yeah, you had the COVID collapse in there, but that was like 2 months. You really didn't have any long-term bear markets. It was the longest bull market we've pretty much ever seen. Why? Because the Fed was printing money. So there is this impact on cycles that occurs when you have artificial drugs being introduced into the system, i.e. Fed printing of money. So we really have to be aware of that. And I think that gets me a little bit more cautious that maybe the low is in on Bitcoin and makes me think there's still potentially some downside to it. Yeah, we can look at Polkadot real quick, see what's going on Polkadot today. Yeah, Polkadot's getting a little bit of a pop. I still have resistance around this 740 level right up here. So, you could get a little bit of a bounce here. To be honest, this is going to go up if Bitcoin goes up. So it follows Bitcoin quite accurately. And again, I would be looking to potentially start a short position north of 740. There's a chance you could retrace all the way up to this 850 level, but this is your area now where you're starting to get significant resistance. Here, this is the S&P 500 or the SPY. Remember, the SPY is the tracking ETF for the S&P 500. Now, right now, the futures are trading up just a little bit, not much, but just a tiny bit. And basically what we saw, this is the daily chart. So we had the sharp run up in the S&P 500. We took out this down-sloping trend line here, right? So this was a long-term down-sloping trend line. We broke above it. We continued up. We didn't fill this gap just yet. And so I do think we have to be on alert that there may still be one more push up in the stock market, all right? And we're going to find out today with Jerome Powell speaking a little bit later. That's a major news piece that you want to follow as well, because again, Jerome Powell is watching this market. He knows what he wants. He probably does not want the market to skyrocket back to all-time highs on the S&P 500. So does he try to put some cold water on it to keep it from doing that? Or is he just as dovish as he was just last week when they reported their latest policy statement? All right, bottom line is, keep an eye on today's price action going into the Powell comments for his speech. And again, if we do see a big pop, your next major resistance on the spiders is going to be the 422 level. All right, 422 on the SPY. That equates to about 4,220 on the S&P 500. We got to look at natural gas. All right, I know a lot of you guys are intrigued by what's going on in natural gas. I continue to hold a position in natural gas. Natural gas has bounced off the pre-market lows. Yesterday, we had a nice little end-of-day rally down here. Let me show you the 10-minute chart. So this was your end-of-day skyrocket here. From down here, it really took off. I could say, I would guess that was short covering or a big buyer stepping into the market. This morning, we were kind of trailing off again in the pre-market here. And then what we saw is another kind of big pop here that took us kind of back to that 252 close from yesterday right here. Now, we are backing off from that as well. But basically, what I'm watching for on natural gas here is pretty simple. So you have this pivot low right here, which is at 262, and this pivot is right here at around 260, all right? And again, those two levels, that area is going to be very influential. If we can start trading above that, you're going to head back on natural gas to 280, then back to 286, and eventually you're going above $3. And I could see 330 to 350 as a longer term target.